Right now on Uconn Huskies Unleashed. Can the Uconn men pull off a three-peat?
Have to trust the work that we put in every day.
Can the Uconn women win it all for the first time since 2016?
One game at a time, that's all you can really worry about.
The brackets are set.
There's no easy matchups.
The games are about to begin.
The magical time of year to play your best basketball.
This is Uconn Huskies Unleashed. Sponsored on WFSB by the Connecticut personal injury law firm of Riscassi and Davis.
It is the most exciting time of the year for college basketball. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Zone.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Erin Connolly. The Uconn men and the women getting ready for their first games, and we'll spend the next 30 minutes getting you ready.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. The Uconn men, they're heading into the tournament coming off that tough loss in the Big East tournament. They were knocked out in the semifinals by Creighton. The NCAA selection committee gave the men an 8th seed in the West region. Their first game is Friday night. The women won their Big East tournament, but that wasn't quite enough to get them that top seed. No, instead, they will be a number 2 seed. They will tip off in the round of 64 Saturday afternoon. Erin is back now with a deeper dive into the brackets.
Yeah, Joe, the roads to the Final Four will not be easy street for either the men or the women. The women do get the advantage, though, of playing their first 2 games at home at Gampel. Let's take a look at the bracket right now. Uconn, the 2 seed, will play 15th seed Arkansas State. The Red Wolves are champs of the Sun Belt Conference and making their first ever NCAA appearance. That game is 1 o'clock on Saturday. And a win there means that Uconn gets the winner of Oklahoma State and South Dakota State. The winners meet Monday night in Stores. Meanwhile, let's flip the bracket to the men's side, and the Huskies are on the road in Raleigh, North Carolina. Uconn is the 8th seed, and they get a first-round game with 9th seed Oklahoma. Check it out right here. Tip-off time for the 2-time defending national champs, 9:25 in the Tar Heel State. And Joe, the Uconn men going for that three-peat, but they will have a number of big challenges getting there.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. The men are making their 5th straight appearance, but the Huskies head coach says, don't worry, his guys are ready.
You know, you're excited to be in it. You know, we've been successful in it. This is I think we have a team that's battled the whole year. I'm excited to see what how we'll play on Friday because of you know, from early in November. You know, we've had the battle just to put ourselves in position to do this, whether it's injury or the disastrous trip to Maui. You know, like we've had to battle our way to have an opportunity. Yeah, we know our floor this year at times has been disappointing, but I do think there's a ceiling for us that if, you know, we get Solo and we get Alex and we get Liam all playing well in the same game and the 2 centers playing well in the same game and get consistent guard play and bench production, you know, like you know, you can't, if we play defense, 75% field goal percentage defense in the first half of any NCAA tournament game, it's going to be ugly. So, you know, we've got to be better in areas that we haven't been good this year. It'll be nice, I think. I think our guys are excited to get out of the Big East. You know, just the physicality and, you know, just, you know, tough it is for us to play the way that we want to play, too, on offense. And I think Liam, I think Alex, I think Solo. I think you could say the same thing about, you know, teams from other conferences too. You know, they're excited to get out of their league with people that know them so well, and in particular the Big East, just with how mauling the games are.
UConn's first opponent hasn't been in the tournament since 2021. Here are 3 things to know about the University of Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, Joe, the Oklahoma Sooners lost in the SEC Conference Tournament, but got an at-large bid and a number 9 seed in the West region. The Sooners have a 20-13 record this season. They've played the Huskies 4 times before. Uconn is 1-3 in those meetings.
Let's take a look now at the Uconn men's road to the Final Four. We know it starts Friday in Raleigh, North Carolina. If the Huskies win 2 games there, they head to San Francisco for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games.
And wins out west mean a trip to the Final Four in San Antonio, Texas. A semifinal win there would send Uconn to the championship game on Monday, April 7th. And of course, we'll be with the Huskies every step of the way. Channel 3's Mark Robbins is traveling with the team. He'll bring you live coverage starting tomorrow from Raleigh, North Carolina.
The Uconn Huskies aren't the only Connecticut men's team in the tournament.
Yeah, this is very exciting. Yale is back in the NCAA tournament for the third time in the last 4 seasons. The Bulldogs securing a 13th seed when they knocked off Cornell in the Ivy League championship game. Yale takes on 4th-seeded Texas A&M on Thursday in Denver. And switching gears to the women's tournament, Uconn heading into March Madness as a 2-seed.
2-seed, and head coach Gino Uriema, he takes the seeding in stride as always.
There are a lot of different ways you can go with that. You can say, I wish we didn't have USC out there in the way to possibly go into the Final Four. I wish we would somebody easy like South Carolina. Really? Or I wish we could play UCLA instead. Or we should play Texas instead. But, you know, if you play a good enough schedule, you're always going to run into somebody that you've already seen. And if you're in the NCAA tournament enough times, you're going to get a repeat offender. Always in the NCAA tournament, you have to rebound better than you do during the regular season, because any extra possessions you give a really, really good team is eventually going to send you home. You have to be able to get stops at crucial times, and it usually comes down to your guards. You know, your guards have got to be able to help you get stops.
I definitely think there is definitely a difference just knowing that we have more pieces on the team, knowing that we have more depth and more players that are able to help us, especially because last year, like you said, we were kind of like on our last legs with only like 6 or 7 people playing, and knowing that we had to be entirely locked in, entirely focused, because we had to expect perfection last year if we wanted to really do something. But I don't think really that mindset and that aspect has changed, just because we still want to execute and we want to be as perfect as we can be at this point in the season.
And the first opponent for the Uconn women is Arkansas State.
And here are 3 things to know about the Red Wolves. Arkansas making its NCAA tournament debut this year. The team beat top-seeded James Madison in OT to win the Sun Belt Championship and an automatic bid into the tournament. The team has 21 wins and 10 losses this season.
And now we'll take a look at the women's road to victory. They stay in Stores on their home court for the first and second rounds. Those games are Saturday and Monday.
And if they win the first 2 games, it's off to Spokane, Washington for the Sweet 16 and potentially the Elite 8. Wins in the Northwest mean a trip to Tampa, Florida for the women's Final Four, the championship game, Sunday, April 6th.
And, of course, we will be there for all the excitement. I am on the road covering the Uconn women for the tournament. It begins this Friday, with the team's practice in Stores. Well, the only other Connecticut team who make it this year is Fairfield.
And the Stags won their conference for the 2nd straight year to get to the tournament. Fairfield got a 12th seat in the same bracket as Uconn. The team's first test comes Friday against 5th-seeded Kansas State.
There's no better place than Stores to get going for Uconn basketball and this March Madness run.
The fans are ready to cheer for Uconn. When we come back, we'll head up to Stores to talk to students.
The Uconn men and women have different roads to victory and different challenges along the way. Still ahead, we're breaking all of that down, and we're talking to analysts about the keys to winning this March.
I couldn't even dream of this college career that I've had so far.
Plus, we'll catch up with Alex Caravan, who is reflecting on quite a career at Uconn, what he says the team needs to focus on heading into the tournament.
At Dime Bank, we're all about community. It's who we are. Local communities made up of customers, families, and friends. Business owners invested in helping their communities thrive. Dedicated employees committed to giving back in ways that go beyond banking. If your banking relationship leaves you wanting more, come join our community. It's your bank, your choice, your dime.
When I'm greened out, I'm just
sinking into my couch.
I am very to myself.
Like I'm floating.
It helps with my art flow.
Makes me feel more creative.
My face feels pretty warm and flush.
You can just relax, take it easy.
Have a chill time.
A little bit more free in your own mind.
you guys are getting lit or whatever.
but don't do it while you behind the wheel.
It only takes that one time.
Once upon a time, Goldilocks took out the Ram 2500 Rebel. Next, he tried the Ram Charger. Then finally, the Ram RHO. And they were all just right.
Right now during Ram Truck Month, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for $349 a month. See your New England Ram dealer today.
Unleashed, sponsored on WFSB by the Connecticut personal injury law firm of Riscassi and Davis.
Well, you know this, anything, and we mean anything, can happen in the big dance, and both of Uconn's teams have the coaches, the players, and the experience to do some damage in their respective brackets.
Yeah, your sports reporter, Dan Booth, he ran all around the basketball capital of the world to find out how students are feeling ahead of all this madness. Dan, you got it.
Aaron and Joe, there's nothing like the hours, minutes, and seconds leading up to March Madness. People scrambling to finish their brackets, hoping their teams can make a deep run. Only time will tell who'll be playing in the Final Four, but one thing we know for sure is that the students in stores can't wait for the opening tip. The basketball capital of the world is buzzing with excitement because March means the madness is coming to stores for the Huskies and their fans.
There's no better place than stores to get going for Uconn basketball and this March Madness run.
I know me and some of the teammates have already made our brackets. We all got Uconn going all the way, so we're super hyped.
Teachers, even for attendance for class, they know it'll be low, and they'll tell students, hey, like, could you please do your homework?
After helping the Huskies bring back 2 national titles, this will be the last dance for Alex Caravan, Hassan Diarra, and Samson Johnson. Fans are hoping they have one more magical run left in them.
If we were to go like 3 for 3, like, I don't even know. It's just going to be crazy.
That would be so lit if they could pull off a three-peat. I think campus would actually go crazy. They're going to have like insane security this year. Even if it's going to be hard, if any team can try and get back up, if any team can try to succeed, it's going to be the Uconn's men's basketball team.
They've always been able to perform when it matters, and we saw that a couple years ago. I feel like people didn't really expect them to win when they did.
On the women's side, with Paige Beckers leading the way, the Huskies look like they have a serious shot to help Uconn get back to the Final Four and put the Huskies back on top of the college basketball world for the first time since 2016.
I'm also an athlete here, and I've been through just some injuries, so it's kind of inspiring watching the way she's been able to come back and even better than before, even though she had such an incredible freshman year.
Paige Beckers has definitely inspired a lot of women and a lot of youth to get more inspired in sports. So I think to have her end on such a high note, it's just deserving from all that she's done.
Paige, AZ, Caravan, Hassan, and Samson have all had huge impacts on Uconn basketball during their time in stores, and it'd be pretty cool to see them all ball out this month. Aaron and Joe, back to you.
Yeah, that's for sure, Dan. Thank you very much. When we come back, we're talking with an anchor of the men's team this year.
Alex Caravan looks back at his time in stores and looks ahead to the task at hand for the Huskies coming up in the tournament.
I think they played well at the end of the year. They won 5 in a row. They looked good. They rebounded. They shot well. They defended better. They did a lot of good things, but they didn't do them against great teams.
The Uconn men in the middle of a tough bracket. We'll talk about it in depth with the voice of the Huskies.
Get 2.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2025 K4.
Our modular Bob is the perfect family sofa. It has wireless charging, hidden storage, and for just $250 per piece, it configures to your family's needs.
All our needs?
Release the children!
Well played.
When shopping is fun for the whole family, there's only one thing to say. Oh, my God.
At Dime Bank, we're all about community. It's who we are. Local communities made up of customers, families, and friends. Business owners invested in helping their communities thrive. Dedicated employees committed to giving back in ways that go beyond banking. If your banking relationship leaves you wanting more, come join our community. It's your bank, your choice, your dime.
Needle in a haystack. I was injured from a car accident. Having numbness in both feet is scary. I tried to handle this myself with the insurance company. They offered me a pittance of money. A customer of mine had referred Riscassi and Davis. I was immediately at ease. I felt like a family member with Riscassi and Davis. I still got 5 times the amount. There's no better law firm.
Discover how Riscassi and Davis can make a difference for you.
Get 2.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2025 K4.
Unleashed, sponsored on WFSB by the Connecticut personal injury law firm of Riscassi and Davis.
Well, one of the big reasons for the Uconn men's success these last few years is the play of Alex Karaban. He grew quickly, becoming a starter late in his redshirt freshman year.
Yeah, he helped the Huskies win the title in Houston and was one of the anchors of last year's national championship team.
Mark Robbins caught up with him recently, and Mark, if it wasn't for Dan Hurley, Alex Karaban might actually be the face of the program this year.
I think you're absolutely right, Aaron, and with 2 national championship rings on his fingers and a chance for a third, it's easy to look at him and say, he's a proven winner. But winning on the court doesn't define the real winner that is Alex Karaban. His senior day smile lit up Gampel Pavilion. And really, Alex Karaban has been a bright light on campus since his redshirt freshman season. A 2-time national champ, Alex is one of the most recognizable people in Connecticut. He's achieved so much, filled his college years with so many memories. Yet he says it's been a blur.
The time's just going by so fast, and it feels like yesterday, like I was just in here as a redshirt getting shots up and practicing with the older guys, and it's really gone by so fast, and it's just, you just have great memories here that I have, and it's just been an unbelievable experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
How's that for an attitude, even with Alex and the Huskies having such an up-and-down season? Alex admits it hasn't been as fun as the previous 2 years, but there's time to fix the problems that have contributed to the inconsistencies.
We can't let past losses define who we are, and we can't let past wins, really just define who we are also. We got to focus on the moment right now.
Of course, Alex speaks from experience, and it's that experience combined with his talent and character that make him an excellent leader and put him in a position he never thought he would reach.
When I first got here my redshirt year, I didn't think I'd be a leader or put in this position ever in my career. I didn't have this much expectations for how my college career would go, and it's gone way better. I couldn't even dream of this college career that I've had so far.
And now Alex is letting himself dream of the next level and playing in the NBA. It's not an ongoing obsessive type thought. In fact, Alex says he's also having thoughts about returning to Uconn for one more run.
Haven't thought much about it yet. It's just something that hasn't crossed my mind, more so focus on the season right now. But when that time comes, obviously I'll talk to the coaches, get their input, and just decide from there. I also do know I have another year athletically that if I do decide to use, I'll do it.
Now, wouldn't that be something? Uconn fans are selfishly hoping that comes true. I'm Mark Robbins for Uconn Unleashed. Joe and Aaron, back to you.
Yeah, that is for sure, Mark. Thank you very, very much. Well, another player who has a big role to play during the tournament is Solo Ball.
And he says, yeah, he's ready for the challenge.
Definitely prepared for it. I've been working my whole life for this, and this is kind of opportunities you get where you just dream of as a little kid. So, I mean, I'm more excited than anything, and just God bless the man above, to be honest. Like, I learned so much from Cam, Tristan, Steph, and Haas last year, just in general. I think just like the pace of play, like the way that they played, and every time they stepped on the court, when Haas was up in, the energy he came in to the game with, every time he checks in, I feel like it's just like a spark. And I think that was one thing I picked up from him. I think each guy just has something about them that just makes them special. But I think just learning from all 4 of them, seeing what they were able to do and just what they're capable of, I think it just gives me an opportunity to just be able to show what I can do as well.
Switching gears now to the Uconn women again. For much of the last season, Caroline Ducharme spent much of her time really just recovering from concussion issues and hoping that she could play again.
Yeah, Joe, she returned late last month, seeing a couple of minutes at the end of games, and then there was this in the final minutes against Villanova in the Big East tournament. How about that? Ducharme hitting that big three, and the crowd just erupted.
It was something to see because this has not been an easy road for the redshirt junior. She talked about what it took to get back to the game she loved so much.
I'm not going to lie, there were definitely times, especially last year, where I didn't know if it would actually happen. But once I think I started feeling better and started getting on the court, then that's when I was really like, okay, I could really actually come back. And I always told them I didn't want to come back just to say I did it. I wanted to actually come back. So it's still a process, and obviously I still have a long way to go, but actually being able to be on the court was a good first step.
And Ducharme has played in 5 games since returning to the court on February 22nd.
It remains to be seen how many minutes she'll get during the NCAA tournament.
Other people need to step up for UConn's formula for success for yet another trip to the Final Four.
Still ahead, we're talking with the voice of the Uconn women about what they have to do to get to Tampa.
Excuse me?
Just let her sleep. Our sleep techs make finding your perfect mattress easy. Experience the Sleep Lab at Jordan's.
New Englanders know that for towing, hauling, and off-roading, your New England Ford dealers are your truck headquarters. For a full lineup that can handle any kind of job, like America's best-selling trucks for 48 straight years, Ford F-Series, including F-150 and Super Duty, J.D. Power's most dependable heavy-duty truck in America. See the #1 trucks and brand loyalty at your New England Ford dealers. Now get 4.9% APR for 72 months on Ford Super Duty, and just announced 2.9% APR for 72 months on F-150.
Jetta Energy bars are plant-based bars that are made with just really great, healthy ingredients. And flavor-wise, they're delicious. I met M&T Bank through the startup community. That relationship has proved to be really invaluable. There's no way we could make the amount of bars that we needed to sell. We needed equipment, and we couldn't get that equipment without M&T Bank. As we grow, I know that I could depend on M&T Bank to be on my side.
Looking to save on internet and mobile? Get the best of both with Xfinity, because now you can get reliably fast Xfinity internet with unlimited mobile included for just $30 a month for 1 year. That's ultra-fast internet at home and millions of Xfinity mobile Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. You can't get that with Frontier. Save even more when you lock in your rate for 3 years on gig speed internet. The way it should be. Good luck getting that with Frontier. Learn more at Xfinity.com.
She wins. With all the right sleep accessories, including squishy pillows, you'll win a great night's sleep. Experience the Sleep Lab at Jordan's.
The brackets are out, and we know where the teams are going.
So let's talk about how it could all play out. I caught up with the play-by-play voice of the Uconn men to talk about what's ahead.
I think they played well at the end of the year. They won 5 in a row. They looked good. They rebounded. They shot well. They defended better. They did a lot of good things, but they didn't do them against great teams. You know, now you got to do it against great teams. So yeah, flip the switch, but they also have to fix some of their, you know, their not only physical mistakes, but their mental mistakes. They got to fix a lot of stuff. I don't know if you can do it.
Right.
Against a team like Oklahoma that's played all these teams. Look, they've beaten Arizona, Louisville, Michigan, Texas on the road, Missouri, at Arkansas, and they beat Vanderbilt. I mean.
So Oklahoma's got like a Big East resume.
I think so. They're 20-13. They lost 13 games, only 6-12 in the conference, but they're in the SEC. You can't. It's hard to be. If UConn was in the SEC, they could be 6-12. You know what I mean? It's a rough conference, man. They got 14 tournament teams out of that conference.
If they get by Oklahoma, what else is out there?
Well, Florida, right away, Florida. And they may be the best team in the country.
Right.
I saw them play. I mean, I think they're so magnificently athletic, and they play at a high level in terms of transition speed. They create offense out of nothing, so you can't turn it over. Uconn's had some issues turning it over lately, right? St. John's took it away 18, 20 times. So they got to take care of the ball, but still score, but still rebound the misses, and still defend.
What's the one thing they absolutely have to do to advance at all?
I would say take care of the ball. Just don't give the opposition, these two teams, Oklahoma, Florida, a chance to get out and transition and get easy baskets, because they can score in bunches. And if you get stuck trying to play catch-up against these teams, it could be a problem.
And there was a lot of talk about whether the Uconn women would be a 1 or a 2.
We know there were 2. Here's what Bob Joyce, the play-by-play guy, thinks about the Final Four.
That's right. Well, that's what his teams do. I mean, they build up to it during the season. And by the time you get to the Big East tournament, you start to notice that maybe while he says the light doesn't go on, you can just see a little something different when you get to postseason play. Paige, I mean, this is her last go-around as a Uconn Husky. You certainly see that in her eyes. It's something new for Sarah Strong. But the NCAA tournament, there's just something about it. You're either ready for it or you're not, into the bright lights. And for Uconn, that's always been a formula of success, because they don't just say, okay, regular season X, Y, Z. They're always building up, getting ready for March. And that's something that has made Gino and CD so successful here at Uconn.
Well, that's our time for tonight. I'll catch you this weekend when I'm covering the Uconn women in stores.
And Mark Robbins is hitting the road to Raleigh.
Stay with us for our live coverage. It's every step of the way. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.